Did you know that Robert Bourgi revealed secrets that shook French politics? His statements even led to investigations into corruption cases. One of the greatest mysteries in modern French politics, Bourgi has managed to take the media scene by storm with his explosive revelations. But who exactly is he? And why do his statements matter so much in the current context? Indeed, his revelations come at a time when trust in political institutions is at an all-time low. The French are increasingly concerned about corruption and opacity within power, and that is exactly where Bourgi comes in, with statements that shake the foundations of the political class. In this context, it is essential to understand who Robert Bourgi is and why his revelations are so important for French society. Bourgi's revelations raise many questions and controversies. Why did he decide to break his silence after all these years? What are the real issues behind his statements? And who are the key players affected by these revelations? The media has struggled to ignore Bourgi's allegations, which have opened a Pandora's box of corruption and influence peddling that stretches back decades. Investigations have begun, politicians are in the crosshairs, and the French are demanding accountability. But behind these revelations, there is a complexity that requires in-depth analysis. The stakes are high, and the players involved are powerful. It is therefore important to understand the ins and outs of this story to truly grasp the magnitude of Bourgi's revelations. Bourgi began his career as a close friend of many African leaders before becoming an influential advisor to many foreign governments. He therefore has a deep understanding of the workings of African and international politics. But what prompted him to break with his past and reveal all? Bourgi's revelations highlight political figures and cases that go back several decades. There are corruption cases, embezzlement, influence peddling, all these cases that have been avoided or hidden for so many years. These revelations have caused an earthquake in the political world, highlighting the opaque practices and abuses that have ravaged the trust of citizens. Investigations have begun. Ministers are being questioned, and politicians are being asked to justify themselves. To understand the magnitude of Bourgi's revelations, it is important to look back and reconstruct the events that led to these statements. This requires a historical and political perspective to truly grasp the issues at stake. Bourgi's statements also highlighted the murky links between politics and business. The revelations show that some companies have taken advantage of their ties to leaders to obtain contracts and subsidies. These revelations also raise questions about the corrupt and influential practices that reign in the corridors of power. How were some politicians able to enrich themselves illegally? What were the mechanisms that allowed these practices? Bourgi's revelations have sparked a huge public debate about transparency and morality in politics. The French are now demanding more transparency and accountability from their leaders. Bourgi also stressed the importance of independent justice and freedom of the press to expose these corruption cases. According to him, these institutions are the only ones capable of protecting citizens against abuse of power. Finally, Bourgi's revelations highlighted the importance of memory and history in understanding current events. By reconstructing past events, we can better understand the issues and the actors at play. This is why Bourgi's revelations are so important for French society. They highlight the excesses and opaque practices that are ravaging citizens' trust. But there was one moment that changed everything in this affair, a moment that revealed the extent of the corruption and influence that reigned in the corridors of power. It was the moment Bourgi exposed the links between politicians and businesses. It was this moment that highlighted the need for a profound reform of the political system and justice. The French are now demanding more transparency, more responsibility, and more justice. These revelations also highlighted the need for reform of the justice system and the police. Investigations must be conducted independently and transparently so that citizens can have confidence in the institutions. In summary, Bourgi's revelations are a major turning point in French political history. They highlight the excesses and opaque practices that are ravaging citizens' trust. Bourgi's revelations also highlighted the importance of memory and history in understanding current events. By reconstructing past events, we can better understand the issues and the actors at play. These revelations show that the truth can be revealed, even if it takes time and effort. Citizens must now be vigilant and demand more transparency and accountability from their leaders. Ultimately, Bourgi's revelations are a call for citizen vigilance and the need to reform the political and judicial system. The French must now be the guardians of their own democracy. Don't forget to share your own thoughts on Bourgi's revelations in the comments and subscribe for more content.